Hey guys, in this video we'll be looking at more equation word problems. The key difference in this video that you'll notice is that we'll have some multi-step equations that we'll be solving, and we'll be setting up each of our problems with two let statements as opposed to one. So let's jump down here to number one and look at how these work. So it says the sum of two numbers is 80. The larger number is 4 more than 3 times the smaller number. Find both numbers. So the fact that we have two unknowns in this case and we need to find both numbers tells us that we need two let statements. Now here's the key about word problems with two let statements. Even though I am going to write two let statements, I'm going to let something be equal to my smaller number, and then something else be equal to my larger number. I am only going to use one variable in these let statements. So that means I can choose my first let statement to be let x equal the smaller number. But after that, for my second let statement, I have to use an x in this second let statement. And I'm going to do that by looking in the problem and looking for the part of the problem that compares the larger number to the smaller number. And we get that from this sentence here. This sentence says the larger number is 4 more than, and remember more than means add, 3 times the smaller number. So that means if we take 3 times our smaller number, which we're saying is x, and we add 4 to that, we get the larger number. So these are my two let statements. Okay, the first let statement is just x, let x be the smaller number. The second let statement, let 3x plus 4 be the larger number. Now that I have those two let statements, I can write my equation, and my equation is going to be pretty simple. It's going to come from just the first sentence here. The first sentence says the sum of the two numbers. Well, sum means add, and my two numbers right now are x and 3x plus 4. So I'm going to add x plus 3x plus 4, and it says the sum is 80, so that means this equals 80. So now I just solve this equation by combining my like terms. I have an x and a 3x that I can combine to get a 4x. So this is 4x plus 4 equals 80. I can subtract 4 from both sides, and I get 4x equals 76. And then divide both sides by 4, and x is equal to 19. Now be careful, make sure you're answering the problem correctly. The problem asks us to find both numbers, so one of my numbers is 19. To find the other number though, I'm going to go back to my let statements, and because I know the larger number is 3 times x plus 4, well, if the smaller number x is 19, I can now substitute 19 in for x to find the larger number. So the larger number would be 3 times 19 plus 4, and that's going to give me 61. So my two numbers are 19 and 61. Okay, number 2, this is a similar type of problem. It says that Reese is 7 years younger than Emily. If the sum of their ages is 37, find the age of each girl. So we're finding two separate ages here, so that means we need two let statements. One let statement will be the age of Emily, who is one of the sisters. And then the other let statement will be the age of Reese, who is the other sister. All right, so if we say let x equal Emily's age, then let's compare Reese's age to Emily's age, going back to the problem. It says in the first sentence that Reese is 7 years younger than Emily. So if Reese is younger, that means I need to take Emily's age, which right now is x, and I need to subtract 7 from that. So my two let statements are let x equal Emily's age and let x equal Reese's age. I'm going to show you another way you could have set up the problem, and you don't need to have both of these ways shown, just one or the other. But some of you may have, for this problem, made your first let statement be Reese's age, and then your second let statement would have been Emily's age. So you might have switched the order there. Well, if you did that, and if you let X be equal to Reese's age, well, Emily is older than Reese. Okay, Emily is older than Reese. So your second let statement would have then been X plus 7. Since Reese is younger, we have to add 7 to get Emily's age. So you could have set up the problem either with X and X minus 7 if your let statement started with Emily, or X and X plus 7 if they started with Reese. It doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as you are consistent and you make sure that Emily is the older of the two. Because now when we go to add these together and set up our equation, our answers will come out to be the same. So if I take my original let statements and I do the sum of their ages, that would be X plus X minus 7. The sum of their ages is equal to 37. So to solve this equation, I add my like terms. X plus X is 2X, so 2X minus 7 equals 37. I can add 7 to both sides, and I get 2X equals 44. And then I can divide both sides by 2, and X comes out to be 22. So that means 22, based on my let statement here, 22 is Emily's age. So I can say that Emily is 22. If Emily is 22, then to find Reese's age, I need to take this let statement here, X minus 7, and I need to subtract 7 from 22, and then I get 15. So therefore Reese is 15. Okay, number 3. This one says that Ryan has one less than 4 times the number of songs on his iPod that Olivia has. In total, they have 469 songs, and we're supposed to find how many songs Olivia has. So, for this problem, the only thing the question actually wants us to find is how many songs Olivia has. But we're still going to write 2 let statements for this problem because I still have 2 unknowns. I don't know how many songs Ryan has. I don't know how many songs Ryan has, and I don't know how many songs Olivia has. And I could just as have easily in the problem asked you to find how many songs they both have, or how many songs Ryan has. So even though the question is only asking how many Olivia has, we still need 2 let statements. My first let statement is going to be just let X equal the number of Olivia's songs. And then my second let statement will be the number of Ryan's songs. And again, I don't know how many songs he has, but I know how many he has in comparison to Olivia. It says that he has 1 less than, so that means we're subtracting 1, 4 times the number of songs that Olivia has. So if we take Olivia's number of songs, X, we multiply it by 4, that's 4X, and then we subtract 1, that's the 1 less than, that's how many songs Ryan has. It says that in total, so that means adding them together, they have 469 songs. So my equation will be X plus 4X minus 1 equals 469. Okay, I'm going to pause the video. I want you to solve this equation for X, and then once you've done that, click play to check that answer. Okay, if you did that correctly, you should have found that X is equal to 94, and so X is the number of Olivia's songs, so therefore we've answered our question. Olivia has 94 songs. There will be times when you'll solve the equation and you'll get your X answer, and then, for instance, had I asked you how many songs Ryan had, you would have had to plug in 94 for X and taken 4 times 94 minus 1. So again, make sure you're answering what the problem is asking. If I had asked for Ryan's songs, then I would have had to figure out what 4 times 94 minus 1 is. Okay, so that's why it's important to make clear let statements so you know what that X actually stands for. Okay, number 4. This one says that the Colts scored 14 less than 3 times the number of points than the Patriots scored in their last football game. Altogether, they scored 46 points, and how many points did the Patriots score? So we're going to set up the problem similarly to the last one. The question's asking how many points did the Patriots score? So that's going to be my first let statement. But I don't know how many points the Colts scored, and so I'm also going to have a let statement for that. Okay, in comparison to the Patriots, it said that the Colts scored 14 less than, so that's subtracting 14 from 3 times their number of points. So this is 3x minus 14 is the number of points the Colts scored. So our equation, since we know that all together they scored 46 points, is going to be this: x plus 3x minus 14 is equal to 46. Once again, I'm going to pause the video. I want you to solve this equation for x and then click play once you have your answer. Okay, if you solved this correctly, you should have found that x equals 15. So x is our Patriots score, and that's the question we were trying to answer. So that means that the Patriots scored 15 points. Obviously a lot less than the Colts scored. Go figure. All right, the last one, number 5, says that the sum of 2 consecutive integers is 113. Find the integers. So we're finding both integers, and let's remind ourselves of what an integer is. An integer is just a positive or negative whole number, so that's what we're supposed to find. We're going to have 2 let statements here. We can say let x be our first integer or our smaller integer, and then we'll have another let statement for our second integer. There's a vocabulary word that you need to know in order to write this second let statement, and that word is consecutive. Consecutive integers or numbers are just one apart from each other. So if my first integer is x, my second integer is going to be x plus 1. Okay, so for instance, if my first number was 4, my next number would be 5, 4 plus 1. So it says that the sum of 2 consecutive integers is 113. So I'm going to take my first integer x, I'm going to add my second x plus 1, and that should be equal to 113. So x plus x is 2x, 2x plus 1 equals 113. I subtract 1 from both sides, I get 2x equals 112, and then if I divide both sides by 2, x comes out to be 56. So that means that my first integer is 56, and therefore my second integer has to be 57. Okay, if you had any questions over this video, make sure you have those written down. And until I see you again, have a nice day. You're all wonderful people.